your fascination and connection with Egypt, with ancient Egypt, can be explained because in a past life you lived in ancient Egypt. And what came up for you is that you are connected to the goddess Wadjet. Now, she was connected to the imperial cobra. Okay? And the imperial cobra has a lot of different talents, but it also has a lot to do with duality. Duality in the sense of this complexity, of this yin and yang that's in one person, okay? So you may have a cobra tattoo, and you may have been seeing the numbers 1010 recently. Now, the goddess Wadjet is associated with authority and control. And the imperial cobra was her representation. So she was represented as either a goddess. Hold on, let me let this plane pass. I think she's excited that we're talking about her. So she was represented by a woman who had the head of a cobra, or a woman who had the head of a lioness. And she is a goddess who was who protected the royals, okay? And this duality that she carries is because she was both a fierce protector, but she was also very maternal, okay? And like the imperial cobra, this imperial cobra, you can see the shape right here, you have the ability to bite or to heal. Your venom can do both. And what I was picking up was that whoever it is, like, you can use your words, your actions, your abilities. I'm getting a lot of confirmation here, but also a lot of noise. For good or for bad. So you have the ability to bite when you want to, but to heal when you also want to. If this message is resonating with you so far, you might also have a connection to the wolf. And I have another video, a message from your spirit animal, the wolf. If this is connecting with you, you may want to go watch that video. But what I'm picking up on is that you have had to learn a lot about compassion and wisdom, and how wisdom is not an age. It's what you've experienced, what you've been through, what you have actually learned from, whether it's from your own experiences, from stories, from fairy tales, from animals, from the earth, just from anything. And with this need to control your power, you have this intense complexity, the duality that I speak of, where you can be in like despair or absolute, like, the most positive person. Another thing that's coming up, if you've watched Vampire Diaries, what's coming up is that how the vampire's emotions are, how they can be everything's heightened when they're a vampire. Everything about them is heightened. I'm sensing that you have this ability to turn it off or to turn it on. And because of this, you are actually... Sorry, there's somebody. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, thank you, Spirit. So you can turn it on and off in an instant, just the same way as they can turn their emotions on and off. But yeah, so you may carry yourself in a royal manner because you were surrounded by royals when you were in ancient Egypt, since you served as a protector of royals. But at the same time, you were also worshipped yourself as a deity because of goddess Wadjet, because of the imperial cobra. Okay. And like a cobra, people may find you intimidating, but it's because you have this venomous, fiery goddess inside of you and this exposure to ancient times that have made you aware of the dangers in the world. People may tell you that they've never met anyone like you. People may also tell you that sometimes you speak like you're from another time. Again, this connection to Vampire Diaries, you might really like Vampire Diaries and how they've been able to experience the world through all those different years, and you wish that you could experience ancient Egypt throughout those years, and you've been called to go to Egypt, and like this, like I said before, this fascination. Another thing that came up is that you may be someone who spots patterns very easily, or who is able to see unique ways and unique solutions. Because in ancient times, when you were in ancient Egypt, you had to figure out different solutions, different ways to fix problems, because they had a lot of political issues. They had to figure out food and water and taking care of people. They had to figure out how they would build things, the architecture. So when it came to the building of the pyramids, when it came to the building of the temples, mummification, all of these things, you were involved because you were a part of the protection of the royalty. You were there every step of the way. And some people believe that the pyramids were built with magic. You may have always felt that this was true, and you have been called to travel to Egypt to see the pyramids, because some part of you knows that you were involved in the actual architecture, the actual building of the pyramids. And you may actually also be called to the Nile River, Nile crocodiles, different rivers in general, the rivers, the deserts, and anything in that manner. Something you may have even been, you grew up in a completely different environment, somewhere that was green and lush, like here, and you want to see the other side. You want to see that barren place. Okay. You may also even adorn yourself a lot. You use this as self-expression. You use a lot of jewelry. You may even be called to wear a lot of like desert clothes, where you have to wear a lot of like light colors and something that keeps you nice and cool, but you like to wear it just because of the style and how it looks and how it reminds you of things. So you might even like to put like a lot of feathers, because another thing is they're very connected. Ancient Egyptians were very connected to birds and hawks, and falconry has been a practice that has been there for hundreds, I don't even know, probably thousands of years. So you may even have a really strong connection to birds as well. Okay, this is what's another thing that came up. If you have been feeling the call to dance, particularly belly dance, I do think that you should go either watch a tutorial online, go to a beginner class, and what came up was that you just doing this, dancing, will unlock some of your past life memories that are stored in your hips. Okay? Another thing that could help you unlock your past life memories from ancient Egypt is doing walking meditation. So, what you have to do is you have to go for a walk, play Egyptian music or belly dance music. There's a lot of different types of belly dance music, so there's some that's like more modern and more like techno dancey, and then there's some that are tribal, and then there's some that is like authentic Egyptian belly dance music, which is more drums, but like there's a different range. Just like do your research and see which one you resonate with the most. But play this music in your headphones, okay? And as you are walking, you can choose whatever place you want to walk in, wherever you feel most comfortable, moving your hips as you walk, okay? Having a really accentuated walk. Just walk differently than you usually do is the thing you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to use visualization to turn everything around you into ancient Egypt. Okay, so like imagine this tree right here is actually a temple, okay? And imagine that the road next to you is a river, the Nile River, and you see ships passing by, and in front of you you can see the pyramids, and you are wearing this gown that is adorned in gold and jewels, and you're wearing a feather crown with a cobra on the front, and you are just walking through ancient Egypt. And as you do this more and more, your visualization will actually become even more powerful, and you're going to be able to really put yourself there, okay? So that is what I advise you to do to really strengthen your connection to ancient Egypt. Try to unlock those past life memories, because I do see that you have a past life there. And then even trying to connect with the cobra. Like, if you've had a fascination with the cobra, this could be the reason why. And again, look for signs that it's going to be 1010. I'm going to see if there's any last messages for you. Yeah, just start to open up a little bit. And if you've been denying that you may have had past lives, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But if there has been evidence, especially anything that I've mentioned in this video has actually happened, to the point where people are like, how do you know that about ancient Egypt? Like, goddess who? The what? The eye of who? The eye of Ra? Like, why do you know these things? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know why I know these. It's because you have lived there before. You have been a part of that before, okay? Let's see. Any last messages? Sometimes when the cards don't come out, it's because there is no more messages. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, so there is a lot of signs coming up that you need to take the time to contemplate this and to really think about what it is that could have been. Maybe even study ancient Egypt a little bit more and see what pops out to you. Do a little bit more research. Because what's also coming up is that you have this limiting belief that you can't connect with your past lives. But the fact that you are here and watching this means that you can, and that you're capable, and that you're willing to do the work. But not putting in the work, like doing those meditations, really focusing on your spirituality, putting in that extra effort to research and see what it's all about, is what's going to help you remember these things and remember this life. So yeah, your connection to ancient Egypt is very interesting. I'm excited to keep connecting with this and get some more messages. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If this resonated, you might be a part of my collective. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.